Pregnant and alone, Maria stood in the vast desert with just a small canteen of water and a piece of stale bread. Her husband had abandoned her, leaving her to face the unforgiving heat. No shade. No escape. Just endless sand and despair. She felt the weight of betrayal, ready to give in. But then, across the dunes, an Apache warrior appeared, strong, calm, and watching her with intent. She thought all hope was lost. But destiny had other plans. Before we begin, tell us where you're watching from and subscribe if you believe that destiny can change everything. Maria felt betrayed and scared. She had loved her husband deeply. She thought he loved her too. But now she was alone in the desert, far from any help. She looked around, seeing nothing but sand and rocks. The land stretched endlessly in all directions. There was no sign of life, not even a single plant. The betrayal hurt more than the heat. It hurt more than the hunger gnawing at her stomach. She had trusted him and he had abandoned her. Her heart felt heavy with sorrow, but she knew she had to keep moving. Staying in one place meant certain death. She had to find shade, water, and safety. With slow, careful steps, Maria moved forward. Her shoes sank into the hot sand. Each step took great effort. Her body was tired and her legs ached. She held her belly, feeling the life growing inside her. The baby was her reason to keep going. She could not give up, not now. As the sun moved across the sky, Maria's thoughts drifted back to her life before. She remembered the small house she and her husband shared. It was simple but cozy. They had dreams of a family and a future. But those dreams were now shattered. She wondered how he could leave her like this without a word of remorse or regret. The desert was silent except for the wind. Sometimes the wind blew sand into her eyes, making them sting. She wiped her eyes with her sleeve and kept moving. Her feet were sore and her mouth was dry. She took a small sip from her canteen, careful to save the rest. Hours passed and the sun began to set. The sky turned a deep orange, casting long shadows across the sand. The temperature dropped quickly and Maria shivered. She pulled her thin shawl tighter around her shoulders. Night in the desert was cold and unforgiving. Maria thought about stopping for the night. Her body begged for rest, but her mind was filled with fear. Sleeping in the open was dangerous. She needed to find shelter. She scanned the horizon, hoping for a sign of safety, a rock formation, or a small cave, anything to protect her from the cold night air. In the dim light, she saw a ridge in the distance. It was not much, but it was something. Gathering her strength, Maria made her way toward it. Her feet dragged and she stumbled several times. Her vision blurred from exhaustion, but she pushed on. When she finally reached the ridge, she found a small hollow at its base. It was not deep, but it would offer some protection from the wind. She crawled inside and sat down, pulling her shawl tightly around her. Her body was sore and tired. As she rested, she listened to the sounds of the night. The wind howled softly and the air was cool. She closed her eyes, thinking of her baby. She promised herself she would survive for its sake. She did not know how, but she had to try. Sleep came slowly, interrupted by fear and cold. Maria dreamed of her past life, of happier times. But each dream ended with the harsh reality of her situation. She woke often, checking her surroundings, ensuring she was safe. The night seemed endless, but finally the sky began to lighten. The first rays of the sun touched the horizon, bringing a new day. Maria got up, stretching her stiff limbs. Her body ached, but she had to keep moving. She took another small sip from her canteen, knowing it would not last much longer. Her bread was almost gone too. She needed to find water and food soon. With determination, Maria left her small shelter and continued her journey. The desert stretched before her, vast and unforgiving. Each step was a struggle, but she refused to give up. Her heart was heavy with betrayal, but she held on to hope. Somewhere beyond this desert, there was a chance for survival. As she walked, Maria thought about her future. She imagined finding a place where she and her baby could be safe. She imagined meeting kind people who would help her. These thoughts gave her strength. She knew she had to believe in a better tomorrow. The sun rose higher and the heat returned. Maria shielded her eyes and kept moving. Her journey was far from over, but she was determined to see it through. She had to survive for herself and for her child. Maria's feet dragged through the sand as the sun climbed higher in the sky. Her body felt weak and her mind was clouded with exhaustion. She knew she couldn't go on much longer without water. Her canteen was almost empty and the desert seemed endless. As she walked, her thoughts wandered back to her husband. She tried to understand why he had left her here, alone and vulnerable. But the more she thought about it, the less sense it made. She pushed the thoughts aside, focusing on each step, one at a time. The sun was directly overhead when Maria noticed something in the distance. It was a figure moving slowly toward her. At first, she thought it was a mirage, a cruel trick played by her tired mind. But as the figure came closer, she realized it was real. Fear gripped her heart. She had heard stories of bandits in the desert, people who preyed on the weak and the lost. Her first instinct was to hide, but there was nowhere to go. She stood still, her heart pounding, as the figure approached. As the figure came closer, Maria saw that it was a man. He was dressed in simple clothes, and his skin was tanned from the sun. He moved with a quiet confidence, his eyes fixed on her. Maria's fear mixed with hope. Perhaps he was not a threat. Perhaps he could help her. The man stopped a few feet away from her. He looked at her with curiosity, his expression calm and gentle. Maria felt a flicker of hope. She was wary of trusting a stranger, but she had no choice. She needed help, and he was her only chance. The man nodded at her, a silent greeting. Maria hesitated, unsure of what to do. Her mind was filled with questions, but she couldn't find the words. The man seemed to sense her fear and confusion. He reached into his bag and pulled out a small pouch. He held it out to her, offering it with an open hand. Maria's eyes widened as she realized what it was. Water. Precious, life-giving water. She took the pouch with trembling hands, her gratitude mixed with disbelief. She drank slowly, savoring each drop. It was the most wonderful thing she had ever tasted. As she drank, the man watched her with a gentle smile. His eyes were kind, and Maria felt some of her fear melt away. She handed the pouch back to him, nodding her thanks. The man gestured for her to follow him, pointing in the direction he had come from. Maria hesitated for a moment, her mind racing. She didn't know this man, didn't know if she could trust him. But she had little choice. She was too weak to continue on her own, and he seemed to offer help. Taking a deep breath, she nodded and began to follow him. The man led her across the desert, his pace steady and sure. Maria struggled to keep up, her body still weak and tired. But the promise of help kept her moving. She watched him closely, trying to gauge his intentions. He seemed confident and calm, his presence reassuring. As they walked, Maria wondered about the man. Who was he? Why was he here in the desert, and why did he choose to help her? She wished she could ask him, but she didn't know how. The language barrier loomed between them, a silent wall. After what felt like hours, they reached a small cluster of rocks. The man led her around them, revealing a hidden oasis. Maria gasped in disbelief. Palm trees surrounded a small pool of clear water, the sight almost surreal against the barren desert. The man gestured for her to sit by the pool. Maria sank to the ground, her body grateful for the rest. She watched as the man filled his pouch with water, then handed it to her again. She drank deeply, feeling life return to her weary limbs. As she rested, Maria's mind began to clear. She realized how lucky she was to have found this oasis and this stranger who chose to help her. Her heart was filled with gratitude, but also with questions. She wanted to know more about him, to understand why he was helping her. The man sat nearby, watching her with a calm expression. Maria studied him, noting the way he seemed at ease in this place. He belonged here in a way she never could. His presence was strong and steady, a beacon in her storm of uncertainty. Maria wanted to communicate with him, to express her thanks and ask her questions. She tried to find the words, but they wouldn't come. The language barrier was a wall she couldn't climb. But she hoped he understood, hoped her gratitude was clear in her eyes. As the sun began to set, the man rose and began to gather wood. Maria watched, curious about his actions. He built a small fire, its warmth a welcome comfort in the cooling evening air. The flames danced, casting flickering shadows around them. The man gestured for her to eat, offering her some dried meat and nuts from his bag. Maria accepted gratefully, her hunger gnawing at her insides. The food was simple but satisfying, a reminder of the kindness she had found in this harsh place. As they ate, Maria felt a sense of peace settle over her. The desert was still vast and dangerous, but she was not alone. The man, though a stranger, was a lifeline in her time of need. She didn't know what the future held, but she felt hope for the first time since her husband left her. The stars began to appear in the sky, their light twinkling against the deepening darkness. Maria lay back on the sand, staring up at them. She felt small and fragile, but also connected to something greater. The desert was vast and unforgiving, but it was also beautiful in its own way. As she drifted off to sleep, Maria's thoughts were filled with gratitude. She didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but she was thankful for this moment of rest, this moment of hope. She was thankful for the stranger who had found her and for the chance to begin anew. The desert night was silent around her, the stars her only witness. But for the first time in days, Maria felt safe. She didn't know what lay ahead, but she was ready to face it. With the man's help, she could find her way through this desert, find her way to a new life. The morning sun rose slowly in the sky, casting a gentle light over the oasis. Maria awoke to the sound of birds chirping in the trees. For a moment, she forgot where she was. The soft rustle of leaves and the cool breeze made her feel at peace. Then she remembered the desert, her journey, and the stranger who had helped her. The man whom she had come to know as Takoda was already awake. He was by the pool, washing his face. His movements were quiet and purposeful, a reflection of his calm nature. Maria watched him, feeling a sense of gratitude swell in her chest. She was safe here, at least for now. Maria sat up and stretched her weary limbs. Her body was still tired, but the sleep had helped. She felt a little stronger, a little more hopeful. The oasis was a sanctuary, a hidden gem in the vast desert. It was a place where she could rest and gather her strength. Takoda noticed she was awake and nodded in greeting. He gestured to a small pile of fruit and nuts he had gathered. Maria smiled and nodded back, grateful for his thoughtfulness. She ate slowly, savoring the fresh taste. The food was simple but nourishing. As she ate, Maria thought about her situation. She was grateful to Takoda for his help, but she knew she couldn't stay here forever. The desert was still dangerous and she needed to think about her future. She needed a plan, but she didn't know where to start. After breakfast, Takoda beckoned for her to follow him. He led her to a small grove of trees where the sun filtered softly through the leaves. It was a peaceful spot away from the harshness of the desert. Takoda sat down and motioned for her to join him. Maria sat beside him, curious about what he wanted to show her. Takoda began to speak, his voice low and gentle. Maria didn't understand his words, but she listened carefully. His tone was calm and reassuring, and his gestures helped convey his meaning. Takoda pointed to the trees, then to the ground. He mimed digging and planting, showing her how to find food and water. Maria watched, fascinated by his knowledge. He knew how to survive in this harsh land, and he was willing to teach her. As the day went on, Takoda continued to share his wisdom. He showed her how to find edible plants, how to track animals, and how to use the resources around them. Maria was amazed by his skill and patience. He was a true guardian of the land, and she was eager to learn from him. Despite the language barrier, they found ways to communicate. Takoda used gestures and simple drawings in the sand to explain things. Maria responded with nods and smiles, showing her understanding. Their connection grew stronger with each shared lesson. Maria felt a growing sense of trust in Takoda. He was kind and patient, never rushing her or making her feel foolish. He treated her as an equal, respecting her efforts to learn. She began to feel more confident in her ability to survive, thanks to his guidance. As the sun reached its peak, they took a break. Takoda led Maria back to the pool where they rested in the shade. The air was cooler here, and the sound of water was soothing. Maria felt her worries begin to fade, replaced by a sense of calm. While they rested, Maria thought about her journey. She realized how far she had come since the day her husband left her. She had been scared and alone, but now she was stronger. She had learned to rely on herself, and she had found an ally in Takoda. Maria's thoughts turned to the future. She knew she couldn't stay at the oasis forever, but she was not ready to leave yet. She wanted to learn more from Takoda to gain the skills she needed to survive on her own. She hoped he would continue to teach her, to guide her on this new path. As the afternoon sun began to lower in the sky, Takoda rose and motioned for Maria to follow him again. He led her to a different part of the oasis, where the trees were thicker and the air was cooler. Here, he showed her how to set traps for small animals using simple materials from the land. Maria watched closely, eager to learn. She appreciated Takoda's patience and skill, and she was determined to master these new techniques. She knew they would be essential for her survival, whether she stayed at the oasis or ventured back into the desert. As evening approached, they returned to their camp by the pool. Takoda built a small fire, and Maria helped gather wood. The air was cool, and the fire's warmth was welcome. They shared a meal of fruit and nuts, sitting together in comfortable silence. Maria felt a sense of peace as she watched the stars appear in the sky. She was grateful for Takoda's help, for the knowledge he had shared, and for the friendship they were building. She knew she still had a long way to go, but she was not alone. As she lay down to sleep, Maria thought about the path ahead. She felt stronger, more capable, and ready to face whatever challenges came her way. With Takoda's guidance, she had found a new sense of purpose, a new hope for the future. The desert was still vast and unpredictable, but Maria was no longer afraid. She had found a sanctuary, a place of learning and growth. With Takoda by her side, she was ready to embrace this new chapter of her life. Together, they would face the challenges of the desert, united by trust and friendship. The days at the oasis passed in a quiet rhythm. Maria found comfort in the routine. Each morning, she woke up to the soft light of dawn and the gentle sounds of the desert. She felt a growing bond with Takoda, her guide and teacher in this new world. Takoda was patient and kind, always willing to teach her more about the land. He showed her how to read the signs of the desert to understand its moods and its secrets. Maria learned to recognize the tracks of animals, to find water hidden beneath the sand, and to use plants for food and medicine. Their communication improved even without shared language. Gestures and expressions bridged the gap, building a silent understanding between them. Maria felt a sense of respect and trust growing, a connection deeper than words. One day, Takoda took Maria to the edge of the oasis. He pointed to the distant hills, then back to the oasis, as if explaining something important. Maria watched him closely, nodding to show she was listening. She tried to piece together his message. Takoda drew in the sand, sketching a map of the area. He marked the oasis, then traced a path to the hills. Maria understood he was showing her a route, perhaps one he knew well. She felt a thrill of anticipation. Was he suggesting they explore beyond the oasis? Takoda's eyes met hers, and he smiled, nodding. Maria felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. She trusted Takoda, but the idea of leaving the safety of the oasis was daunting. Yet she also felt a pull toward the unknown, a desire to see more of this land. The next day, they prepared for the journey. Takoda packed supplies, ensuring they had enough food and water. Maria helped, gathering what they needed. She felt a sense of purpose, a readiness for the adventure ahead. As they set out, Maria felt the sun warm her back. She followed Takoda, her heart steady with trust. The desert stretched out before them, vast and endless. But she was not afraid. With Takoda by her side, she felt capable and strong. The journey was challenging, but Maria was determined. Takoda led the way, his steps sure and confident. He moved with the grace of someone who belonged to this land. Maria admired his knowledge and skill, grateful for his guidance. As they walked, Takoda stopped occasionally to show Maria something new. He pointed out plants she hadn't noticed before, explaining their uses with gestures. Maria marveled at the desert's hidden resources, its secret abundance. They rested during the hottest part of the day, finding shade under a rocky outcrop. Takoda shared food and water, and they ate in companionable silence. Maria felt a sense of peace, a connection to the land and to Takoda. In the afternoon, they resumed their journey. The landscape changed as they approached the hills. The ground grew rocky, and the air felt different. Maria sensed they were nearing something important, a place Takoda wanted her to see. As the sun began to set, they reached a high point overlooking the desert. Maria gasped at the view. The land stretched out below, a sea of sand and rock painted with the colors of the setting sun. It was beautiful, vast and wild. Takoda stood beside her, silent and still. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude. This was his world, and he was sharing it with her. She turned to him, her eyes bright with emotion. He nodded, understanding her unspoken thanks. They camped for the night on the hillside, the stars bright above them. Maria lay awake for a long time, thinking about the journey and the bond she was forming with Takoda. She felt a deep respect for him and his way of life, a connection she hadn't expected. The next morning, Takoda showed her the hills, leading her to a small cave hidden among the rocks. Inside, the air was cool and still. Maria felt a sense of wonder. This was a place of safety, a refuge in the desert. Takoda explained through gestures that the cave was a place his people used long ago. Maria felt honored to be shown such a special place. She understood that this was more than a lesson in survival, it was a sharing of culture and history. As they made their way back to the oasis, Maria felt changed. The journey had shown her the strength and beauty of the land, the wisdom of its people. She felt a deeper connection to the world around her, a sense of belonging she hadn't known before. Back at the oasis, Maria and Takoda settled into their routine once more. But something had shifted. Their bond was stronger, their trust deeper. Maria felt more confident, more capable. She knew she could face the challenges of the desert with Takoda by her side. The days passed, each one a gift of learning and growth. Maria felt grateful for Takoda's presence in her life, for the friendship and guidance he offered. She knew the desert was still vast and unpredictable, but she felt ready to face it. With each passing day, Maria's respect for Takoda and his way of life grew. She found strength in their bond, a partnership rooted in mutual respect and understanding. Together, they faced the desert's challenges, united in purpose and spirit. Maria's journey was far from over, but she felt ready for whatever lay ahead. With Takoda by her side, she knew she could navigate the desert's trials and find her place in this vast, beautiful world. The days at the oasis blended into a comforting routine. Maria found herself immersed in learning, eager to understand more about the life Takoda lived. Each lesson was a step deeper into a world she had never known, filled with customs and traditions that fascinated her. Maria and Takoda spent their mornings exploring different parts of the oasis. Takoda showed her how to gather food and find water, skills essential for survival. But there was more to learn than just survival. He introduced her to the customs of his people, the Apache, sharing stories through gestures and expressions. Maria was captivated by the richness of Takoda's culture. She learned how the Apache lived in harmony with the land, respecting its gifts and its challenges. Takoda showed her how they used plants for medicine and how they crafted tools from natural materials. Maria admired their ingenuity and their deep connection to nature. In return, Maria shared stories from her own life. She tried to convey the joys and challenges of her past, the life she once knew. Takoda listened with interest, his eyes attentive and understanding. Though words were sparse, they found ways to communicate their experiences, finding common ground in their shared humanity. One day, Takoda showed Maria how to make a simple bracelet from strips of leather and small stones. He demonstrated the technique, his hands skilled and sure. Maria watched closely, eager to learn. She followed his example, her fingers clumsy at first but growing more confident with practice. As they worked, Takoda explained the significance of the bracelet. Through gestures and expressions, he conveyed that it was a symbol of friendship and connection, a bond between people. Maria felt honored to be part of this tradition, to share in something so meaningful. Maria thought about the life she had left behind, the people she might never see again. She realized how much she had lost, but also how much she had gained. The connection she felt with Takoda and his culture was unlike anything she had experienced before. It filled a void she hadn't known was there. As the days passed, Maria and Takoda grew closer. Their friendship deepened, rooted in mutual respect and understanding. They found joy in their shared experiences, in the simple beauty of the world around them. Maria felt a sense of belonging she hadn't felt in a long time. Takoda taught Maria more about the Apache way of life. He showed her how to dance to the rhythm of a simple drum, the beats echoing through the oasis. Maria laughed as she tried to follow his steps, feeling the music pulse through her. It was a celebration of life, a connection to something greater. In the evenings, they sat by the fire, sharing stories and laughter. Takoda's presence was warm and reassuring, a constant in Maria's new life. She felt grateful for his friendship, for the kindness and patience he showed her every day. Maria learned about the importance of community in Apache life. Takoda explained, through gestures and expressions, how everyone worked together, supporting one another through life's challenges. Maria was moved by the strength and unity of his people, their resilience in the face of adversity. As Maria absorbed these lessons, she felt herself change. She was no longer the same person who had stumbled into the desert, lost and afraid. She had grown stronger, more confident. She understood the value of connection, of working together for a common purpose. One afternoon, as they gathered food near the edge of the oasis, Maria noticed something new in Takoda's eyes. It was a warmth, a hint of something deeper than friendship. She felt her heart skip, surprised by the realization. She had come to care for Takoda more than she had expected. Maria found herself thinking about Takoda often, wondering if he felt the same. It was a new and confusing feeling, but also exciting. She didn't know what the future held, but she was open to the possibility of something more. As the sun set over the oasis, Maria and Takoda sat by the fire, watching the stars appear. The night was peaceful, the air cool and fresh. Maria felt a sense of contentment, a quiet happiness she hadn't felt in a long time. She looked at Takoda, feeling grateful for his presence in her life. He had taught her so much, not just about survival, but about living with purpose and joy. He had shown her the beauty of his world, and in doing so, helped her find her place in it. Maria knew she still had much to learn, but she was ready for whatever came next. With Takoda by her side, she felt capable and strong. Together, they would continue to explore this world, discovering its wonders and facing its challenges. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but Maria was no longer afraid. She had found her way, guided by Takoda's wisdom and friendship, and in the process, she had found herself, a new life filled with promise and hope. The peace of the oasis wrapped around Maria like a warm blanket. Each day brought a new lesson, a deeper understanding of the world she was now part of. She felt a profound sense of belonging, a connection to the land and its people. With Takoda, she had found a new family, a new purpose. But one morning, as the sun cast long shadows across the sand, that peace was threatened. Maria and Takoda were gathering berries near the edge of the oasis when they heard the distant sound of voices. The voices were harsh and unfamiliar, cutting through the stillness of the desert. Maria felt a chill run down her spine. She looked at Takoda, her eyes wide with fear. He placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, his expression calm but alert. He gestured for her to follow him quietly, leading her back toward the cover of the trees. As they moved, the voices grew louder. Maria could make out a group of men approaching, their movements careless and loud. Her heart pounded in her chest. Bandits, she thought, remembering the stories she had heard. People who took what they wanted, with no regard for kindness or compassion. Takoda led Maria to a hidden spot within the grove. They crouched low, peering through the leaves. Maria's heart raced as she watched the men enter the oasis. There were 4 of them, rough-looking and armed. They laughed and shouted, their presence a stark contrast to the oasis's serene beauty. Maria felt a wave of panic. This was their sanctuary, their refuge. The bandits' presence was a violation, a threat to everything she had come to love. She glanced at Takoda, seeking his guidance. His eyes were focused, his mind clearly working on a plan. Takoda motioned for Maria to stay hidden. He pointed to the far side of the oasis, indicating a path that would lead them away from danger. Maria understood, nodding her agreement. They needed to leave to find safety before the bandits discovered them. But just as they were about to move, one of the bandits shouted, pointing in their direction. Maria's heart skipped a beat. They had been seen. The men started toward them, their intentions clear and menacing. Takoda sprang into action, grabbing Maria's hand and pulling her to her feet. They ran through the trees, the bandits close behind. Maria's heart pounded in her ears, fear giving her the strength to keep moving. They reached the edge of the oasis, the open desert stretching out before them. Takoda led Maria along a narrow path, his steps sure and swift. He knew this land, its secrets and its shortcuts. Maria trusted him completely, her faith in him unwavering. The bandits followed, their shouts growing louder. Maria felt her fear threaten to overwhelm her, but she pushed it aside. She had to stay strong, to trust in Takoda and in herself. As they ran, Takoda suddenly veered off the path, leading Maria into a narrow ravine hidden from view. They crouched low, hidden by the rocks. Maria's breath came in quick gasps, her heart racing. She listened as the bandits ran past, their footsteps fading into the distance. Takoda placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder, his eyes meeting hers. They had escaped for now. Maria let out a shaky breath, relief flooding through her. But she knew they were not safe yet. The bandits would likely return, searching for them and the oasis. They waited in silence, the desert's quiet settling around them once more. Maria's mind raced, trying to process what had just happened. The oasis was their home, their sanctuary. They couldn't let the bandits take it. Takoda seemed to share her thoughts. He gestured toward the path they had come from, his expression determined. They needed a plan, a way to protect their home and themselves. Maria nodded, understanding his resolve. They needed to outsmart the bandits to ensure their safety. Together, they made their way back to the oasis, moving quietly and carefully. The bandits were gone, but their presence lingered like a shadow. Maria and Takoda knew they had to act quickly. Takoda began to set traps around the oasis, using the skills he had taught Maria. She helped him, her hands steady despite her fear. They worked silently, setting snares and alarms to warn them of any intruders. Maria felt a sense of purpose, her fear turning into determination. As they worked, Maria thought about the strength she had found in this world, the courage she had gained from Takoda's guidance. She knew she could face this challenge, that they could protect their home together. The sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the oasis. Maria and Takoda finished their preparations, their traps set and ready. They sat by the pool, watching the stars appear one by one. The threat of the bandits still loomed, but Maria felt a sense of calm. Takoda's presence was reassuring, his strength a beacon in the darkness. Maria knew they could face this challenge together, that their bond would see them through. They were not just 2 people surviving in the desert, they were a team united by trust and friendship. As the night deepened, Maria felt a renewed sense of hope. The bandits were a threat, but they were not invincible. With Takoda by her side, she knew they could protect their sanctuary, their home. Together, they would face whatever came their way, ready to defend the life they had built. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but Maria was no longer afraid. She had found her strength, her courage, and her place in this world. With Takoda, she was ready for the challenges ahead, confident in their ability to overcome them together. The desert night was calm, but Maria's mind was not. She lay awake, listening to the sounds of the oasis. The gentle rustle of leaves, the soft chirping of insects. It was a peaceful symphony, a stark contrast to the turmoil inside her. The bandits were out there, somewhere, and she knew they would return. Takoda slept nearby, his presence a comfort in the darkness. Maria watched him for a moment, grateful for his strength and guidance. She knew they had done all they could to prepare, but the uncertainty still gnawed at her. Morning came, and with it a renewed sense of determination. Maria and Takoda moved through the oasis, checking their traps and making sure everything was in place. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows as they worked. The bandits would come, it was just a matter of when. Maria felt a mix of fear and anticipation, her senses heightened. She knew the oasis was worth protecting, that it was more than just a refuge. It was a symbol of hope, of the life she and Takoda were building together. As the sun reached its peak, Maria heard a sound in the distance. Her heart skipped a beat. It was the bandits, their voices carrying on the wind. She glanced at Takoda, who nodded, his expression calm but focused. They moved to their hiding place, ready to face what was coming. The bandits appeared at the edge of the oasis, just as they had before. Maria watched as they moved through the trees, their eyes searching for the oasis's treasures. But this time, things would be different. Maria and Takoda were ready. The first bandit walked into a trap, a simple snare that tightened around his ankle. He shouted in surprise, struggling to free himself. The others rushed to help, their attention diverted. Maria felt a surge of hope. The traps were working. She and Takoda had the advantage, if only for a moment. She watched as Takoda moved silently through the trees, his movements careful and deliberate. The bandits were distracted, focused on freeing their comrade. Takoda took the opportunity to set off another trap, a noisemaker that sent a cascade of pebbles clattering down. The sound startled the bandits, sending them into disarray. Maria felt a thrill of satisfaction. The bandits were confused, unsure of what to do. She and Takoda had turned the oasis into a maze, a place where they held the upper hand. It was a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. The bandits regrouped, their eyes scanning the trees. They knew they were not alone. Maria's heart pounded in her chest. This was the moment of truth, the test of all their preparations. Takoda moved again, drawing the bandits' attention away from Maria. He was quick and quiet, a ghost among the trees. Maria watched, her admiration for him growing. He was brave and smart, a true guardian of their home. One of the bandits shouted, pointing in Takoda's direction. Maria's heart clenched with fear. They had seen him. The bandits moved toward him, their expressions angry and determined. But Takoda was ready. He led them deeper into the trees, away from the heart of the oasis. Maria realized what he was doing, how he was luring them away. It was a risky move, but a clever one. Maria took a deep breath, her fear giving way to resolve. She couldn't let Takoda face the danger alone. She moved from her hiding place, careful to stay out of sight. She needed to be ready to help if things went wrong. Takoda led the bandits to the edge of the oasis, where the desert stretched out once more. There he stopped, turning to face them. Maria watched, her heart in her throat. This was the moment they had prepared for. The bandits hesitated, unsure of what to do. Takoda stood his ground, his expression calm and unwavering. Maria felt a surge of pride. He was strong and fearless, a leader in every sense. One of the bandits stepped forward, his voice harsh and demanding. Maria couldn't understand his words, but she knew his intent. He wanted the oasis, its water and its shelter. But Takoda was not about to give it up. Maria moved closer, ready to stand by Takoda's side. She felt a sense of unity, of shared purpose. They were a team, and together they could face anything. The bandits seemed to sense the change. They looked between Takoda and Maria, their confidence faltering. They had expected an easy prize, but they had found something else entirely. With a final shout, the bandits turned and retreated, disappearing into the desert. Maria watched them go, her heart still racing. They had won, at least for now. The oasis was safe, their home secure. Takoda turned to Maria, his eyes meeting hers. There was relief and gratitude in his gaze, a shared understanding of what they had accomplished. Maria felt a wave of emotion, a mix of pride and love. They returned to the heart of the oasis, the sun setting behind them. The threat had passed, but Maria knew it might return. Still, she felt a sense of peace. They had faced the danger together, their bond stronger than ever. As the stars appeared, Maria and Takoda sat by the pool, their hands entwined. The oasis was quiet once more, the night a blanket of calm. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude for the land, for Takoda, and for the life they were building. The desert was still vast and unpredictable, but Maria was no longer afraid. With Takoda by her side, she felt ready for whatever came next. They would face the challenges together, united by trust and love. The days after the bandits' retreat were filled with a new sense of calm at the oasis. Maria and Takoda resumed their routine, but there was a change in the air. The threat they had faced together had deepened their bond, making it stronger and more meaningful. Maria found herself reflecting on her life and the choices that lay ahead. She had come to love the oasis, its beauty and tranquility. It was a place of healing, a sanctuary she had never imagined finding. But she knew she couldn't stay here forever. The world beyond the oasis called to her, a future she needed to consider. Takoda seemed to sense her thoughts. He watched her with understanding, never pressing her for a decision. He was patient, allowing her the space to explore her feelings and her future. Maria appreciated his quiet support, his willingness to stand by her no matter what she chose. One morning, as they gathered fruit near the edge of the oasis, Maria felt a stirring of restlessness. The horizon stretched out before her, vast and inviting. She thought of the world beyond, the possibilities that awaited her. It was both exciting and daunting. She turned to Takoda, who was watching her with his calm, steady gaze. He seemed to understand her unspoken thoughts. He nodded toward the open desert as if encouraging her to follow her heart. Maria felt a rush of gratitude for his support, his belief in her. That evening, as they sat by the fire, Maria knew it was time to talk about her future. She needed to share her thoughts with Takoda, to explore the choices before her. The night was quiet, the stars bright above them. It was the perfect time for a conversation that would shape her path. Maria took a deep breath, gathering her courage. She looked at Takoda, her eyes meeting his. Through gestures and expressions, she tried to convey her feelings. She loved the oasis and the life they had built together, but she felt the pull of the wider world. She needed to know what lay beyond, to find her place in it. Takoda listened, his expression thoughtful. He nodded, showing he understood. He gestured to the desert, then back to the oasis, as if saying both were part of her journey. Maria felt a swell of emotion. He was right. Her journey was not about leaving something behind, but about embracing all that she had learned. Takoda then gestured to himself and to her, his expression serious. Maria understood his meaning. He was offering to go with her, to be by her side whatever she chose. Her heart leapt at the thought. She had feared losing his companionship, but here he was, ready to face the unknown with her. Maria felt tears prick her eyes, overwhelmed by his generosity and love. She nodded, her heart full. Together, they would face the future, whatever it held. She felt a sense of peace, knowing she didn't have to choose between the oasis and the world beyond. She could have both, with Takoda by her side. In the days that followed, Maria and Takoda prepared for their journey. They gathered supplies and planned their route, each step a reminder of the adventure ahead. Maria felt a mix of excitement and nervousness, but it was tempered by the knowledge that she was not alone. The morning of their departure was bright and clear. Maria stood at the edge of the oasis, taking in the beauty of the place she had come to love. It was a bittersweet moment, but she felt ready. The oasis had given her strength and wisdom, lessons she would carry with her always. Takoda joined her, his presence a steadying force. Together, they looked out at the desert, the horizon stretching wide and vast. Maria felt a thrill of anticipation. The world was full of possibilities, and she was eager to explore them. As they set off, Maria felt a sense of freedom. The desert was challenging and unpredictable, but she felt ready to face it. With Takoda by her side, she knew they could handle whatever came their way. The journey was not just about the destination, but about the experiences they would share. Maria felt a sense of adventure, a readiness to embrace the future. She and Takoda were a team, united by trust and love. As they walked, Maria thought about the life they were leaving behind and the one they were about to build. It was a new beginning, a chance to create something beautiful together. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the journey she had taken, for the growth and the love she had found. With each step, Maria let go of the past and embraced the present. She felt a sense of peace, knowing she was where she needed to be. The future was wide open, and she was ready to meet it head-on with Takoda by her side. The desert stretched out before them, a canvas waiting to be painted with their story. Maria felt a surge of excitement, a readiness to face whatever lay ahead. The world was vast and full of promise, and she was ready to embrace it all. Together, she and Takoda would create a life filled with adventure, love, and endless possibility. The journey from the oasis had begun with hope in Maria's heart. The desert stretched before her, vast and unknown, but she felt ready. Takoda walked beside her, his presence a source of strength and comfort. Together, they faced the open world, each step a promise of new beginnings. As they traveled, Maria felt a mix of emotions. She missed the oasis, its peace and beauty. But she also felt a thrill of excitement, a readiness to embrace the unknown. The desert was a challenge, but she was not afraid. With Takoda by her side, she felt capable and strong. The days passed in a rhythm of travel and rest. They moved at a steady pace, guided by Takoda's knowledge of the land. Maria marveled at his skill, his ability to read the desert signs. He taught her more each day, sharing his wisdom and his culture. Maria's respect for Takoda grew with each passing day. He was patient and wise, always willing to share what he knew. She felt grateful for his guidance, for the friendship that had become so much more. They were a team, united in purpose and spirit. As they traveled, Maria thought about her past, the life she had left behind. She remembered the pain of betrayal, the fear and uncertainty. But those memories were softened by the present, by the love and hope she had found with Takoda. She felt a sense of healing, a readiness to embrace the future. One evening, as they set up camp, Maria watched the sunset paint the sky with colors. It was a moment of peace, a reminder of the beauty in the world. She felt a sense of gratitude for the journey she was on and the person she had become. Takoda joined her, his presence warm and reassuring. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching the stars appear one by one. Maria felt a deep sense of contentment, a quiet joy in the life they were building together. As the stars twinkled above, Maria thought about the path ahead. She realized she had found more than just a partner in Takoda. She had found a home, a place where she belonged. It was not bound by walls or borders, but by love and understanding. The next day, they continued their journey, moving across the desert with purpose. Maria felt a sense of freedom, a lightness in her step. She was no longer tied to the past, but free to explore the future. It was a liberating feeling, a new chapter in her life. As they traveled, Maria and Takoda talked about their dreams for the future. They shared hopes and plans, weaving a tapestry of possibilities. Maria felt a sense of excitement, a readiness to embrace whatever came their way. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but Maria felt at peace. She had found her place in the world, a place she would share with Takoda. Together, they would face the challenges and joys of life, united by love and trust. Maria knew there would be obstacles ahead, but she felt ready to face them. She had learned so much on this journey about herself and the world around her. She felt strong and confident, ready to build a life filled with adventure and love. As they walked, Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude. She was grateful for the lessons she had learned, for the growth and healing she had found. She was grateful for Takoda for his kindness and strength. Together, they had created something beautiful, something enduring. The journey was far from over, but Maria felt ready for whatever lay ahead. With Takoda by her side, she knew they could face anything. They would continue to explore the world, to build a life filled with love and promise. The desert stretched out before them, a canvas waiting to be painted with their story. Maria felt a surge of excitement, a readiness to embrace the future. Together, she and Takoda would create a life of joy and possibility, a testament to their love and resilience. Maria and Takoda continued their journey through the desert, moving with purpose and hope. Each day brought them closer to new experiences and new people. Maria felt a sense of anticipation, eager to see what lay ahead. One afternoon, as they walked, they saw signs of life on the horizon. Smoke rose in the distance, a signal of a settlement. Maria's heart quickened with excitement. It had been some time since she had been among others, and the prospect both thrilled and unnerved her. As they approached, the outlines of a small community came into view. Simple homes made of mud and straw dotted the landscape, surrounded by fields of crops. People moved about, tending to their daily tasks. Maria felt a surge of hope. This was a place where life flourished, where people worked together to thrive in the harsh desert. Takoda led Maria into the settlement, their arrival drawing the curious eyes of its inhabitants. Maria felt a flutter of nerves, but Takoda's presence was reassuring. He greeted the people with respect, his demeanor calm and friendly. Maria followed his lead, her heart open to the possibility of new friendships. The community welcomed them with warmth and kindness. Maria was relieved to find acceptance among these strangers. She felt a sense of belonging, a connection to the people and their way of life. It was a community built on cooperation and mutual support, values she had come to cherish. Maria and Takoda were invited to stay to share in the community's work and its rewards. Maria felt grateful for the opportunity, eager to contribute and learn. She joined the women in the fields, helping to harvest crops and gather food. The work was hard but satisfying, a rhythm of life that felt both familiar and new. As the days passed, Maria learned more about the community and its customs. The people were generous and open-hearted, always willing to lend a hand or share a story. Maria felt inspired by their resilience, their ability to thrive in a challenging environment. It reminded her of the strength she had found within herself, the journey that had brought her here. Takoda also found his place in the community, sharing his knowledge and skills. He worked with the men, helping to build and repair structures, to hunt and gather resources. His presence was valued, his wisdom respected. Maria watched him with pride, grateful for the man he was and the life they were building together. In the evenings, the community gathered to share meals and stories. They sat around a large fire, the glow of the flames illuminating their faces. Maria listened to the tales of the desert, the history and legends that shaped the community's identity. She felt a deep sense of connection, of being part of something greater than herself. Maria also shared her own stories, speaking of her journey and the lessons she had learned. The people listened with interest, their eyes reflecting understanding and empathy. Maria felt a sense of healing, a release of the pain and loss she had carried for so long. She was surrounded by acceptance, by a community that embraced her for who she was. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Maria felt a profound sense of peace. She was where she needed to be, surrounded by people who cared and supported one another. The community had become her home, a place where she and Takoda could grow and thrive. Maria's thoughts often returned to Takoda, to the bond they had forged through their journey. She felt a deep love for him, a connection that was both grounding and uplifting. Together, they had faced challenges and celebrated triumphs, their partnership a source of strength and joy. One evening, as they sat beneath the stars, Maria turned to Takoda, her heart full. Through gestures and expressions, she conveyed her gratitude, her love for him and the life they were building. Takoda smiled, his eyes reflecting the same emotions. They were a team, united by trust and love. Maria knew their journey was far from over, but she felt ready for whatever lay ahead. With Takoda by her side and the support of their new community, she felt confident and hopeful. The future was bright, filled with possibilities and promise. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but Maria no longer feared it. She had found her place in the world, a place enriched by love and friendship. Together with Takoda, she would continue to explore and grow, embracing the adventures and challenges that awaited them. As Maria lay down to sleep, she listened to the sounds of the desert night. The gentle rustle of the wind, the distant call of an animal. It was a lullaby, a reminder of the beauty and wonder of life. Maria closed her eyes, her heart at peace. She was ready for tomorrow, for the journey that continued to unfold. With Takoda and their new community, Maria had found more than just survival. She had found a home, a life filled with joy and possibility. The future was theirs to shape, a canvas waiting to be painted with their story. Together, they would face it all, united in love and hope. Maria settled into life in the community with Takoda. The days were busy and full. She helped harvest crops, weave baskets, and care for animals. Each task brought her closer to the people around her, weaving her into the fabric of the community. As the weeks passed, Maria's pregnancy progressed. The women of the community noticed and offered their support. They shared their knowledge, teaching her how to prepare for the birth. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude for their kindness and wisdom. The women gathered herbs and showed her how to use them to ease discomfort. They taught her breathing exercises to calm her mind. Maria felt comforted by their presence, their experience a guiding light through the changes she was experiencing. Maria appreciated the sense of sisterhood that had formed. She felt connected to these women, their lives intertwined with hers. The community had become her family, a network of support and love. Takoda remained by her side, his presence steady and reassuring. He worked hard, contributing to the community in many ways. Maria watched him with pride, grateful for his strength and compassion. As her pregnancy advanced, Maria spent more time resting. The women encouraged her to listen to her body, to take things slowly. They assured her that everything was progressing well, that she was strong and capable. Maria trusted their guidance, their voices a soothing balm to her worries. She felt a sense of peace, knowing she was surrounded by people who cared. The community had become a haven, a place of safety and belonging. As her due date approached, excitement and anticipation filled the air. The community prepared to welcome a new life, each member eager to help. Maria felt their joy and support, their energy a source of strength. The women organized a small gathering to celebrate the upcoming birth. They sang songs and shared stories, creating a circle of warmth and love around Maria. She felt enveloped in their kindness, her heart full of gratitude. Takoda joined the celebration, his eyes bright with happiness. He stood by Maria's side, their hands intertwined. They shared a quiet moment, their love a constant thread in the tapestry of their lives. The night of the gathering, Maria lay awake, her thoughts on the future. She felt a mix of emotions, excitement, fear, hope. But above all, she felt ready. Ready to meet her child, to embrace the next chapter of her life. As the stars twinkled above, Maria closed her eyes, her heart at peace. She knew she was not alone. She had Takoda, the women, the entire community. They were all part of this journey, this new beginning. The next morning, Maria woke to a dull ache in her belly. She recognized the signs, her baby was ready to enter the world. She felt a rush of emotions, a blend of fear and excitement. But she was ready. She had been preparing for this moment, and she was surrounded by support. The women gathered around her, guiding her through the early stages of labor. Maria focused on their voices, their soothing words a lifeline. She breathed deeply, trusting her body, trusting the process. Takoda stayed close, offering his strength and love. His presence was a comfort, a reminder that they were in this together. Maria felt a surge of gratitude for him, for the life they were creating. As the hours passed, the contractions intensified. Maria found strength in the women's encouragement, their hands holding hers. She felt their energy, their belief in her ability to bring new life into the world. With each push, Maria felt a surge of determination. She was strong, capable, ready. The pain was intense, but she knew it was temporary. Her mind was focused on the moment she would finally meet her child. Finally, with one last push, Maria heard the cry of her newborn. Relief and joy flooded through her, tears filling her eyes. The women cheered softly, their faces glowing with happiness. Maria held her baby close, overwhelmed by love. The tiny life in her arms was a miracle, a testament to her journey. She looked at Takoda, his eyes filled with emotion. They were a family, united by love and hope. The community celebrated the new arrival, their joy a shared experience. Maria felt their support, their happiness a balm to her tired body. She was grateful for each of them, for the role they played in her life. As the sun set, Maria lay with her baby in her arms. She felt a profound sense of peace, a deep connection to the life she had created. She was a mother, a role she embraced with all her heart. The journey had been long and challenging, but Maria felt ready for the future. With Takoda and the community by her side, she knew she could face any challenge. Together, they would nurture this new life, build a home filled with love and possibility. The desert stretched beyond the horizon, vast and unpredictable. But Maria no longer feared it. She had found her place, her purpose, and her family. With love as their guide, they would face whatever came their way together. Maria held her newborn close, feeling the warmth and softness of her baby against her skin. The tiny life she had brought into the world filled her with awe and wonder. She marveled at the miracle of birth, the culmination of her journey and the beginning of a new chapter. The community gathered to celebrate the arrival of the new baby. The air was filled with joy and excitement. Neighbors came bearing gifts, small tokens of love and welcome for the child. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude for their kindness and generosity. The women who had supported Maria during her pregnancy and labor now surrounded her with care and guidance. They helped her adjust to the demands of motherhood, offering advice and encouragement. Maria listened to their words, absorbing their wisdom. Takoda stayed by Maria's side, his love and support unwavering. He was a proud father, his eyes filled with happiness every time he looked at their child. Maria felt a surge of love for him, grateful for the journey they had shared. The days that followed were a blur of new experiences and challenges. Maria learned the rhythms of caring for a newborn, finding comfort in the routine. She cherished the quiet moments, the times when she held her baby close and felt the rise and fall of tiny breaths. The community embraced the new family, offering help and support. Maria felt enveloped in a web of love, a network of people who cared deeply for her and her child. She was not alone in this journey, she had an entire village standing with her. As Maria adjusted to her new role, she reflected on the path that had brought her here. She thought about the struggles and triumphs, the lessons she had learned along the way. Each step had led her to this moment, to the life she held in her arms. Maria felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She was a mother, a role she embraced with all her heart. Her child was a symbol of hope and love, a reminder of the strength and resilience she had found within herself. The community held a special ceremony to welcome the baby. It was a tradition, a way to bless the child and celebrate new beginnings. Maria felt honored to be part of this ritual to share in the joy and love that surrounded them. Gathered around a large fire, the people sang songs and shared stories. Maria listened, her heart full. She felt a connection to the community, a bond that had grown stronger with each passing day. The love and acceptance she felt were a powerful force, a reminder of the beauty of life. As the ceremony continued, Takoda stood beside Maria, holding their child. His presence was a source of strength and comfort. They were a family united by love and hope. Maria felt a deep sense of peace, knowing they would face the future together. After the ceremony, the community shared a meal, a feast to celebrate the new life. Maria felt overwhelmed by the generosity and kindness of those around her. She was grateful for their support, for the community that had become her home. As the sun set, painting the sky with colors, Maria sat with her child in her arms. She felt a profound sense of contentment, a joy that filled her heart. She was where she belonged, surrounded by love and friendship. The days turned into weeks, and Maria continued to learn and grow as a mother. She faced challenges with determination, knowing she had the support of Takoda and the community. Each day was a gift, a chance to embrace the life she had created. Maria watched her child grow, marveling at each new milestone. The first smile, the first laugh, the first time tiny fingers grasped hers. Each moment was precious, a reminder of the journey she had taken and the love that surrounded her. Takoda was a devoted father, his love for their child evident in every action. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude for his presence in their lives. Together, they were building a home filled with love and possibility. The community remained a constant source of support and joy. Maria felt blessed to be part of such a caring and generous group of people. Their kindness and acceptance had changed her life, giving her the strength to face the future with hope. As Maria looked to the horizon, she felt a sense of excitement for what lay ahead. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but she was no longer afraid. She had found her place in the world, a place enriched by love and friendship. With Takoda and her child by her side, Maria felt ready for whatever came next. They would face the challenges and joys of life together, united by the bonds they had forged. The future was bright, filled with promise and possibility. Maria closed her eyes, feeling the warmth of her child in her arms and the love of her community surrounding her. She was at peace, knowing she was exactly where she needed to be. The journey had brought her here, to a life filled with joy and hope. Together, they would continue to explore the world, creating a story of love and resilience. Life in the community settled into a comforting routine for Maria and Takoda. Their days were filled with caring for their child and contributing to the community's well-being. Maria found joy in the simple tasks of motherhood, each day bringing new challenges and triumphs. Maria rose early each morning, tending to her child's needs. She cherished the quiet moments, the time spent watching her baby sleep or whispering soothing words. Her heart swelled with love each time she held her child, feeling the warmth and innocence of new life. Takoda was a constant support, sharing in the responsibilities of parenthood. He was attentive and caring, always ready to lend a hand. Maria admired his patience and dedication, grateful for the partnership they shared. Together, they faced the demands of parenting, learning, and growing with each new experience. The community continued to be a source of strength for Maria. The women offered advice and encouragement, their wisdom a guiding light. They shared in the joy of watching Maria's child grow, celebrating each milestone with warmth and enthusiasm. Maria felt a deep connection to the people around her. Their support and kindness had transformed her life, giving her the courage to embrace her role as a mother. She felt blessed to be part of such a caring and generous community. As her child grew, so did Maria's confidence. She learned to navigate the ups and downs of motherhood, finding strength in her own resilience. Each day was a new adventure, a chance to learn and grow alongside her child. Maria watched with pride as her baby took the first tentative steps. It was a moment of triumph, a symbol of the journey they had taken together. The community celebrated with her, their joy a shared experience. Maria felt a profound sense of gratitude for their support. Takoda was a devoted father, his love for their child evident in every action. He spent hours playing and teaching, his patience endless. Maria watched them together, her heart full. Their bond was strong, a testament to the love that united their family. In the evenings, Maria and Takoda sat together, reflecting on their day. They talked about their hopes and dreams, their plans for the future. Maria felt a deep sense of contentment, knowing they were building a life filled with love and purpose. The community continued to thrive, each member contributing to its success. Maria and Takoda were active participants, their skills and knowledge valued by those around them. Maria felt a sense of pride in their contributions, grateful for the opportunity to be part of something greater than themselves. As the seasons changed, Maria embraced the rhythms of life in the desert. She found beauty in the landscape, in the simple pleasures of each day. Her journey had taught her to appreciate the present, to find joy in the moments that made up her life. Maria's thoughts often returned to the path she had taken, the struggles and triumphs that had shaped her journey. She felt a sense of accomplishment, knowing she had overcome many challenges to reach this point. Her life was full of love and promise, a testament to her strength and resilience. Takoda remained her anchor, his love a constant source of support. Together, they faced the challenges of parenthood, their bond growing stronger with each passing day. Maria felt a deep connection to him, a partnership that enriched her life in countless ways. The community was a source of joy and fulfillment for Maria. She found meaning in her relationships, in the shared experiences and support. The people around her were like family, their presence a reminder of the power of love and connection. As Maria looked to the future, she felt a sense of excitement and hope. She knew there would be challenges ahead, but she was ready to face them. With Takoda and her child by her side, she felt confident in their ability to navigate whatever came their way. Maria's journey had been long and winding, but it had led her to a place of peace and happiness. She had found her home, a life filled with joy and possibility. The future was bright, a canvas waiting to be painted with their story. With each new day, Maria embraced her role as a mother and partner. She felt grateful for the life she was building, for the love that surrounded her. Together with Takoda, she would continue to explore the world, creating a life of adventure and hope. The desert stretched beyond the horizon, vast and unpredictable. But Maria no longer feared it. She had found her place, her purpose, and her family. With love as their guide, they would face whatever came their way, together. As time passed in the community, Maria found herself reflecting on the journey that had brought her here. Life in the desert had not been what she expected, but it had given her more than she could have imagined. She had found love, a family, and a place where she truly belonged. One morning, as the sun cast a warm glow over the settlement, Maria took a moment to pause and reflect. Her child played nearby, laughter filling the air. It was a sound that brought joy to her heart, a reminder of the life and love that surrounded her. Maria watched her child with pride, marveling at the growth and change. Each day brought new discoveries, new milestones. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment, knowing she was part of something so precious and meaningful. Takoda joined her, his presence a constant source of strength. Together, they watched their child play, their hearts full of love and gratitude. They shared a quiet moment, reflecting on the life they had created together. Maria felt a sense of peace, knowing she was exactly where she needed to be. She had faced many challenges, but each one had led her to this moment, to the happiness and contentment she now felt. Her journey had been one of growth and resilience, a testament to her strength and determination. As the day unfolded, Maria and Takoda went about their daily tasks. They worked together, side by side, contributing to the well-being of the community. Maria felt a sense of purpose, knowing their efforts were valued and appreciated. The community continued to thrive, each member playing a vital role. Maria felt a deep connection to the people around her, their support and friendship enriching her life in countless ways. She was grateful for the bonds they had formed, the shared experiences that had brought them closer. In the evenings, the community gathered to share stories and laughter. Maria cherished these moments, the warmth and camaraderie that filled the air. She felt a sense of belonging, knowing she was part of something greater than herself. As the stars appeared in the night sky, Maria found herself thinking about the future. She felt a sense of excitement, a readiness to embrace whatever came their way. The world was full of possibilities, and she was eager to explore them with Takoda and her child. Maria knew there would be challenges ahead, but she felt prepared. Her journey had taught her the value of resilience and hope, the importance of love and connection. She was ready to face the future with confidence, knowing she had the support of her family and community. Takoda was her partner in every sense, his love and support unwavering. Together, they had built a life filled with joy and purpose. Maria felt a deep sense of gratitude for his presence in her life, for the strength and wisdom he offered each day. As Maria lay down to sleep, she felt a profound sense of peace. Her child slept nearby, a reminder of the love and hope that filled their lives. Maria closed her eyes, her heart full. The desert was vast and unpredictable, but Maria no longer feared it. She had found her place, her purpose, and her family. With love as their guide, they would face whatever came their way together. Maria's journey had been one of discovery and transformation, a path that had led her to a life filled with promise and possibility. She felt grateful for each step, each lesson learned. Her heart was full of love and hope, a testament to the power of resilience and the strength of the human spirit. As she drifted off to sleep, Maria felt ready for whatever the future held. She knew that, with Takoda and her child by her side, they could face any challenge. Together, they would continue to explore the world, creating a story of love and adventure. The future awaited, a canvas waiting to be painted with their story. Maria felt a surge of excitement, a readiness to embrace all that life had to offer. With love as their guide, she knew they would create a life of joy and fulfillment, a testament to the journey they had taken together. If you loved the story, like the video and subscribe.